Samantha, I am so sorry to hear what happened on your family trip and the loss of your father. Um, that must have been a very difficult time for you and your family. Um, During that time, did you get any type of grief counseling? I mean, yeah, I did. My aunt, she tried to step in and help my mom get me and my siblings, you know, um, some counseling or whatever, but I didn't really feel comfortable, talking to somebody I didn't know. I really just wanted to be like near my mom, but my mom, she, her way of dealing with it was she just went out all the time, so she wasn't really there. Two of my aunts, they were really there for us, and I really, appreciate that. So it sounds like this was really a traumatic situation for your entire family, as well as you. Um, is there, as far as you know, is there a family history? Like, does anybody else in your family have any type of diagnosis? Yeah, like my younger sister, she has always had anxiety. It's like gotten worse, since my dad died. I guess the first of us would have been one of my younger brothers. He was like the first one when he was in college to, kind of have a breakdown around the time, like a couple of years later, like after, like maybe 1 or 2 years later, around the same time that my dad died, he ended up having to go to the hospital. And I guess now that I think about it, I guess it was like kind of the same thing. He wasn't sleeping. He was staying awake for days and days and days. And, they diagnosed him with bipolar. He had to stay in the hospital, and then they released him and he was doing some counseling. My older brother, he started showing some signs when, I guess like during the pandemic, but he just decided to smoke weed to kind of, deal with it. He was kind of, triggered by the fact that he, had to leave campus and move back in with us. And like, my mom is real toxic. Like, she doesn't take responsibility for like none of her actions. She feels like she's a parent. She did the best she could, but she doesn't, take responsibility for the fact that, we lost our dad and she was the only parent we had left. We needed her to like really be, step up and like really be a parent, not just provide, for us. We needed like the emotional support and we didn't get that, and so, it is what it is. The only one that like really seems to be like unaffected is my youngest brother, but he did his counseling, he finished it. He's, kind of been in a good place or, whatever. He's the baby of the family, so he's my mom's favorite. He kind of get away with everything. But, if I had to say, he's like the only one who, is whatever. All right. So you talked about your older brother. I think you said in order for him to kind of cope with what's going on, you said that he, smoked marijuana. I know you said that you already, have drinks, when you partying or whatever. But let me ask you this. To help you cope, are you using any type of substances to help you cope on a regular basis, or have you tried like any new substances? I mean, yeah, I was drinking and, smoking weed before, I first had to go to the hospital or whatever. The doctors told me that I really shouldn't, be smoking weed or anything while I'm taking, while I was taking my medication. But, my birthday was coming up and I had to get turned up. So, I stopped taking my meds because I knew I wanted to have drinks, and and I wanted to smoke, and that's what I did. Then what ended up happening was, I guess I kept the party going too long. So, then I went out to the club with, with my girls and everything. I met this dude. We went in the back. He like had some coke. That was the first time I did it. But yo, the high that gave me, and I was feeling sexy. So, me and him, we did what we did, in the back of the club, but that was the one and only time that, I did coke. Cause, afterwards I wasn't really feeling that, so I just, kind of stuck, to my weed and, drinking my liquor, Okay, so, Samantha, how often would you say that you are drinking and smoking? Like, is it every day? Is it several times a day? Is it only, in the evenings? Just let me know how often you're using. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you, like for a little while, when my baby daddy was like stressing me out and stuff, I was like smoking like all the time, but me and him was smoking together, so it kind of, mellowed us out, we wasn't fighting as much, it was kind of all good, then once I got back, on track or whatever, I, wasn't really smoking, as much, but now I live with my mom and ain't no way I'm living with my mom and I'm not smoking, because if I'm not smoking, then me and her fighting, her mouth, my mouth, like I just can't take it. She always got something to say, so I gotta smoke so that I can stay, chill. Now drinking, that's more so like on the weekends, I'm drinking, but yeah, smoking, listen, I gotta smoke every day. Okay, so have you noticed any changes in your mood when you're drinking or when you're smoking or when you're doing both? Like seriously, for the most part, I feel like, the weed put me like in a good place. I'm chill. I can laugh, but when I'm drinking, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm drinking, I get to remembering about my dad. I start thinking about, how like stuff is real messed up with me and my mom, me and my baby daddy, stuff like that. And, then I get to crying, so sometimes I try to stay away from the alcohol because I think that it like be making me depressed or something. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so you said right now you live with your mom. Is there anybody else who lives in the house with you? And you also mentioned that you are a nurse. Are you currently working as a nurse? Like right now, it's just me, my mom, and my daughter living in the house. I had to move back because after my last hospitalization, like they told me I had to do a program. I did the program, but I wasn't like consistent with the program. So they put me out the program and they didn't release me to be able to go back to work. So I lost my apartment. So that's why me and my daughter are living with my mom. My goal is to get back to working as a nurse because I bust my butt, for them classes. And that money, I need that money to take care of my daughter. You mentioned your child's father. Are you still currently in a relationship with him? And describe what your relationship with him is like now. Like seriously, he like stresses the heck out of me, but I thought we was gonna be able to like get past some things and get back together, but I guess not. I told him what I did. I told him about my scamming, me sleeping with this with the dude or whatever to get my phone bill money, and my rent paid. And he got all pissed off about that or whatever, so he got him a little girlfriend. I guess it's serious. It is what it is. I ain't gonna lie. I, sometimes miss him or whatever, but it's all right. Okay, Samantha, you've given me a lot of information today. Is there anyone in your family that you feel close enough with that you're okay with me talking to them? I just want to kind of get a little bit more background information about, like the specifics of what brought you here today, other than the fact that it seems like you haven't slept in a couple of days and you might be, having an episode. I mean, I guess you could talk to my mom, but, you got to be careful with her because, me and her, when we beefing, then she got a lot of stuff to say. So sometimes she could be like real negative. I definitely think that I want for you to, oh my God, I'm so freaking hungry right now. Like, I feel like I could go for a cheeseburger so bad. Okay, focus. My two aunts, they're like mad supportive. One of my aunts, she'll tell me like it is, when she's not happy with me, she'll let me know that I need to get back on track. I need to get into therapy. My other aunt, she has actually like sat in on sessions and like let my therapist know, where I'm slipping up. So I definitely like trust them. But I guess if you gotta talk to my mom because I live with her, I guess it's okay. But cut that short. I don't want you talking to her a lot. I don't, because she run her mouth too much. Okay, Samantha, I really do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak with you today and allowing me to speak to your mom and your aunts. Our time has come to an end. I know that you haven't gotten any sleep. You just mentioned that you were hungry. I do want you to know that, our conversation is confidential, except for, me getting some background information from your family. What you say here stays here. I will not be sharing any of your information, with your family. I would really just be getting more information from them. If at any time you are a threat to yourself or to anyone else, that is the only time that I would have to disclose any of your information. Are you okay with that? Okay, just sit tight. I'm going to let the doctor know that we have finished up, and the doctor will come in to see you. All right? Have a good day.